Coming live from the backyard in Compton, California. My name is Emmitt, and this is Emmitt Approved, a place where you come to get everything you need from the culture. So, being a diehard Los Angeles Laker fan since 1987, you know, I can still remember when my neighbor across the street told me, hey, I'm about to go watch the Lake Show. I had to be about 5 or 6 years old, and I asked him, well, what's that? What are you talking about? What's the Lake Show? Are you finna watch fishing, or they racing boats on the lake? What are you talking about? He said, man, no, that's the Lakers. The Lake Show mean the Lakers. And since then, as a young boy, I was indoctrinated into this lifestyle of loving the Lakers. So I've been a diehard Laker since about 5 or 6 years old. And this week we got some amazing news. Check this out. The Los Angeles Lakers sell for estimate $10 billion. The Buss family, who has owned the Lakers since 1979, has relinquished some power, you know, let somebody else come in to kind of call the shots, and I'm here for it, I'm happy for it. This is what Magic Johnson had to say about this. Laker fans should be ecstatic. Mark is driven by winning, excellence, and doing everything the right way. This makes all the sense in the world, and I am so happy and excited for Laker fans all over the world, end quote. Now, this is good for me because we know Magic Johnson stepped away from the organization a couple years ago. There was some infighting. He kind of gave the keys to Rob Pelinka. We don't know what Pelinka's been doing, but hey, I'm a diehard Laker. I love what's going on with the sale of the team. We need to get back to winning. Anybody else that understands the Lakers, we've been terrible for the past 4 or 5 years. We've had the same team because we can't move these pieces around. LeBron is taking up a lot of the cap. You know, we Austin Reeves and Doncic and all this. Look, we need to play defense. We need to be big on the inside, and we need to get back to winning. So if this is going to get us in the right direction, if this is going to get us closer to winning, I'm all here for it. All right? That's Emmitt Approved. To live and die in L.A., one of the most beautiful places on the earth, known for its Warren Hills and beautiful weather, beautiful women, and beaches. Los Angeles has always been a place where the people of Los Angeles aren't afraid to hit the streets and express themselves if there's any type of civil unrest. We can look back to the murder of Latasha Harlins at the liquor store in '91. We can look at the outcry in the streets for the murder of Rodney King in 1992. Something happening in the country, if it reaches LA, the people don't feel a certain way about it, they're gonna definitely hit the streets and let the people know. On Friday, June 6th, the Home Depot in Westlake and others working in a fashion district downtown were notified that the U.S. Attorney's Office had a search warrant for workers working with fake documentation. Word spread throughout different counties, and by the end of the day, crowds were gathered at the federal building calling for the end of ICE raids. The next day, on Saturday in Paramount, tensions got a little worse. And by Sunday, we had the arrival of the National Guard here in Los Angeles. By Tuesday, Mayor Karen Bass had implemented a curfew for downtown Los Angeles for people to be inside the house at 8 p.m. Now things have calmed down a bit, but ICE raids are still happening throughout the region, and there's a lot of families being torn apart. It's almost like a civil unrest. People are very nervous. You go downtown, you go through the Santee, you go through the alley, you go through a lot of different places that were heavily affected by Hispanic workers. You don't see anything there anymore. A lot of things are shut down. The wholesale spots, the flower spots, the produce spots, all of that stuff is shut down. You go through the Home Depots, you don't see anybody out there anymore. I've seen reports of a lot of children haven't been able to go to school because their parents are afraid that that ICE agents will go to school and tearing families apart. All of this stuff seems very inhumane. All of this stuff seems very it's almost like they're not, like I said, inhumane. They're not being treated like humans. I've seen the response of a lot of black folks on the internet saying that, hey, this isn't our fight. We shouldn't be involved in this. This is what our Hispanic brothers and sisters voted for. We told them not to vote for Trump. They voted for Trump, and this is what they get. I've seen people speaking these things out loud. And I think that though we understand what's come along with this Trump presidency, I think that we can't be in a position where we are being accusatory or pointing the fingers. I don't think it's our positioning based on our history to condemn or criticize our Hispanic brothers and sisters. I can understand folks saying, hey, you voted for them, this is what you want. But I think that us being insensitive at this time is a complete wrong way to go about it. I hadn't realized, how many people have possibly had Hispanics in their family through marriage or, you know, through pregnancy or whatever the case is. We live hand in hand with Hispanics here in Los Angeles, especially here in Compton. And I think it's very insensitive coming out saying, hey, it's not our fight. This is what they get. Let them handle it, X, Y, and Z. I do feel like the best thing that we can do is be supportive. I don't think we should be out on the front lines. I don't think we should be out, you know, protesting and burning things up. I'm an advocate for peaceful protests. I do believe you should stand on what you believe in. If you feel like this is wrong, things are inhumane, you want to fight, you should be able to go out to the street and peacefully protest. But I think black folks being condescending in a way is not the way to go. I think we should show love and support. And the best way we could do that at this moment is just by not saying anything negative. Just don't say anything negative. Be as supportive as you can. Just keep your mouth closed. What's the old saying? If you don't have anything good to say, just don't say nothing at all. It's hot. We out here in the backyard. It's summertime. It is definitely hot. But that's just my 2 cents, man. As black folks, we've been through this. We understand those struggles. We understand what it's like to be oppressed and to have other groups of people kind of talking down on you while you inside of that. We just had the big hoopla for George Floyd not too long ago, where there were tons of protests and marchings all around the country. So I don't want us to be in this position to be accusatory, to be condescending, and to be saying, hey, this is what they voted for, this is what they get, this ain't our fight. The best thing we could do right now is just keep your mouth closed. Just keep your mouth closed and just try to be as supportive as you can. I'm not asking you guys to go out and protest and do all that. No, we shouldn't do that. But we can be supportive by just being silent, okay? Lending a helping hand if need be, but mainly don't say nothing ignorant online, man. You don't want to offend people while they're going through what they're going through. That's my 2 cents. You know, we need to show solidarity because we 2 steps away from them. The main thing is no due process, right? If you can be arrested and sent out of the country, sent to Guantanamo Bay with no due process, that's extremely, extremely terrifying. And if it's happening to them, we're next on the totem pole. Who's to say it can't happen to us? Who's to say our families can't be broken up? Can you imagine being stopped for a traffic stop? And then they say, hey, whoa, this is this person, and you got these offensive, you out of here. You got to go to Guantanamo Bay without due process, without your family being notified. That's very scary. So we need to be more sensitive, more understanding in the matter. I'm not saying go out and protest, but just don't say nothing crazy, man. Like, we grow up hand in hand with our Mexicans, El Salvadorians, any immigrants here in Compton. You know what I mean? We went to school with them. We live with them. We hand in hand. So let's not be insensitive. Let's try to support what they got going on. I'm not asking you to go protest, but just be peaceful, man. Just have some coof about yourself. You know, don't say nothing crazy on the internet. This ain't our fight, all that. Just chill. Just chill. That's my 2 cents on that. To live and die in LA, it's the place to be. Got to be there to know it. Everybody wanna see. I got it. Now, a big part of Emmitt Approved is music. Music is my everything. It's always been my everything. I speak music. I create it. We make it. We talk it. We just live and die and breathe. We love it. We love music. So Emmitt Approved, I'm always gonna let you know what's hot or not. What's Emmitt Approved and what's not Emmitt Approved. This week, we had a major drop come. Something that we've been waiting on for the past, I say 3 or 4 years. Lil Wayne finally drops his Carter 6 album. We've been hearing about this Carter 6 album for so long. It's been years. Remember when Young Thug came out, and I think he was at the Carter 5 at that point, and then he had a situation with Young Thug, and Young Thug called this the Barter series. And it was this whole fallout. We've been waiting on this Lil Wayne Carter 6 for quite some time. He's been drumming it up. It finally dropped, and let me give you some of the stats before I get into it. Let me give you some of the stats. Lil Wayne, the Carter 6 drops, and it debuted at #1 on the top R&B and hip hop albums chart. Now, if we think about this, I've been listening to Lil Wayne since I've been in the 7th grade. Lil Wayne, The Block is Hot was his album The Block is Hot album came out. I was in the 7th grade when I got that album. Now, the album before that was Guerrilla Warfare for the Hot Boys. That's when we officially met Lil Wayne. But he officially dropped his first album, The Block is Hot. I was in the 7th grade, and I've been listening to Lil Wayne since I've been in the 7th grade. We went through all the SQ5, SQ mixtapes, and the No Ceilings, and everything. I've been on this ride with Lil Wayne for a very, 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 very long time. Okay? Now, just to give you some of his stats, before I get into this album, as a fan, I'm not cutting down Lil Wayne. I'm not coming for Wayne. I respect and appreciate what he's done for hip hop. Again, I've been riding with Wayne since I've been in the 7th grade. I got everything he's ever done, okay? Let me give you some of this man's stats. Now, with the Carter 6 dropping, and it's been a #1 album on the top of the hip hop R&B charts, this makes Lil Wayne's 11th #1 album. 11. Okay? Most rappers can't say that. I argue Jay-Z is the only rapper that can argue, he has 3 to 4 classic albums. Most rappers can't say that, period. Right? But Lil Wayne can say he has 11 #1 albums. Now, he doesn't have 11 classics, but let me run down this list really quick. The Block is Hot. That was #1 for 2 weeks. 500 Degrees. That was #1 for 1 week. The Carter 2, #1 for 1 week. Like Father, Like Son, #1 for 1 week. The Carter 3, #1 for 7 weeks. Rebirth, #1 for 1 week. I Am Not a Human, #1 for 4 weeks. The Carter 4, #1 for 7 weeks. The Carter 5, #1 for 2 weeks. Funeral, #1 for 1 week. And the Carter 6 debuted at #1 for 1 week, okay? Now, I've always said Lil Wayne is a great rapper. We all know Lil Wayne has had an incredible run. There was a time where you could not stop at a stoplight in any city, Compton, Atlanta, New York. I'm sure you could not stop at a stoplight and everybody wasn't playing Lil Wayne. There was a time around, I say for me, the Carter 2. To me, the Carter 2 was the best Carter in the Carter series. That's where it was at its peak for me. Around the Carter 2 time, everybody, everywhere was listening to Lil Wayne. You couldn't go to no neighborhood, no party, nowhere without hearing Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was the hottest rapper out, period. Love Lil Wayne, right? But I always argue Lil Wayne's content has always been terrible. He's never spoken about anything. It's always been ABC, 1, 2, 3. LMNOP, XYZ. And Wayne is the type of artist, he can put a twang on it. That ABC and all that, it's going to hit a certain type of way. But as we realize over the years, though we love Lil Wayne, man, his content is terrible. He's not talking about anything. So much so that some of the people that he's put on, the Drake, the Nicki Minaj, his predecessors have surpassed him in terms of catalog, in terms of content, in terms of popularity. Is Drake a better rapper than Lil Wayne? Does Drake make better music than Lil Wayne? Does Drake have a better catalog than Lil Wayne?
No, sir.
You don't think so? Now, that could be arguable. Not too long ago, Lil Wayne's son did an interview for the BET Awards, I believe. And they asked him about, what he thought about the reaction of the Carter 6 and all that. And he said, honestly, there wouldn't be no Drake if it wasn't for my pops. He said, my dad wrote the majority of Drake's stuff. Now, that's new news. We hadn't heard that before, right? We heard Meek come out and say, Drake had ghostwriters, and we saw this recent battle with Kendrick. I'm not even going to get into that. We know what happened with that. I'm in Compton. We already know what's going on with that, okay? But when we're talking about Lil Wayne and his legacy, can we say that his predecessors have surpassed him? Has his predecessors, gotten a better catalog than him? It's arguable. I wasn't expecting the Carter 6 to come out and debut #1 for this week because I've heard so much backlash about it. I went and checked it out myself. And as a Lil Wayne fan, I'm going to say out of 19 songs, now, first of all, 19 songs is way too many songs. This isn't 2010. This ain't 2015. 19 songs is way too many songs. I don't want to hear 19 songs. I think a classic album, a great album, at most 11, 12 songs. I think. And that might be too much. I think the less is more. You know, some of my greatest hip hop albums. Common, B. You know, we'll talk about that one day. One of the best hip hop albums, top 10 in hip hop history. Some of Kanye's best work, some of Common's best work. 12, 13 tracks. We look at Nas, Illmatic, one of the greatest hip hop albums ever created. One of Nas's classics for sure. What, 11, 12 tracks, right? So less is more when we're talking about good music. I wish we get back into the interludes. We see what's going on with Diddy right now. You know what I'm saying? We see all the stuff that's going on there. That's a whole different topic. But when we're talking music and we're talking sequencing and album structure, Bad Boy had a hold on the interludes, the Mad Rapper and Biggie interludes and all of that stuff, and the Total interludes and all of that. Diddy understood sequencing and putting the album together. I think Wayne, though he's great, though he's legendary, though he has a good discography, he can rap, his content has always been in the trash. And I wouldn't say, you know, since the Carter 3, I can't say he's put together these amazing albums. The Carter 6 come out, Flex Up is one of the good joints on there. Out of 19 songs, again, I say Lil Wayne, 4 out of 19. 4 out of 19 tracks. As a fan, those 4, I'm still hyped for those 4, you know? But, you know, for the other, what is that? 15 tracks? You losing me. He got a song called Peanuts to an Elephant. Now, everybody online has been talking about this song, doing reviews to this song. Again, I'm not here to disrespect Lil Wayne and tear him down. And I don't even think it's over with for Lil Wayne. I just feel like whomever he's working with, whomever the producers are, whatever's going on, he needs to restructure it. You know, something needs to happen. But
do you think Wayne has, like, he wants to change it all, though?
I don't think so. I don't think he wants to change. I feel like Wayne seems to be in his own bubble, even from just common knowledge of things that are happening. We see these interviews with Wayne, and he didn't know this happened, or he didn't know this happened. These things that are just common knowledge in the world, Wayne seems to be locked in the studio in his own bubble. And I think for a while that worked for him, but now it seems like it's kind of gotten away from him. It's one thing to be an OG and bring up new talent. We've seen Wayne has done that, you know, with Drake and Nicki. There's a slew of other artists on YMCMB that never came out, that never saw the light of day. It seems like he's trying to, rejuvenate that. I see Corey Guns is still over there with him. He's been down and been loyal. I think Gutta Gutta is still over there. You know, he's been down and been loyal and all that. But I don't know. I don't think Wayne wants to change. I don't think Wayne thinks there's a problem. I don't think Wayne thinks he's doing anything wrong. You know, I think Wayne still thinks it's 2010 and No Ceilings is out and all the momentum is cracking, and, you know, he got Drake and Nicki going, and I still think he still, you know, still thinks that momentum is there, and it's just not there. And every time, it's like, I feel like he's gonna fall into the Kanye bag. Like every time Kanye drops, the Kanye fans, the people that understood, like, what the beats was and the lyrics and all that, we always feel like, okay, Kanye coming back. We're going to get the old Kanye. We're going to get the beats and the rhymes. We're going to get that. And every time for the past, 4 or 5 projects, we felt like Kanye was coming back. And he just hasn't come back. Kanye just is not coming back. So now it's like, I don't even care no more. Like, we know he's not coming back. It's not going to be good. And I feel like Wayne is falling into that bag now, where it's like, we hoping for it. We got the bars, we got the this. That nostalgia is still there, but he's not coming back, bro. He's not coming back, and that's okay. Maybe we should just put him on the shelf where he's at, respect him for what he's done for the culture, and just let it be what it is. But all in all, Lil Wayne, the Carter 6, is not Emmitt approved. It's not. So go listen to it, because you have to validate your opinion. But I'm going to keep it funky with you, and that's my boy, but it's not Emmitt approved.